What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. Season 8, episode I don't know, Malice in Wonderland. So let's get started with Angela and Michael. So Angela FaceTimes some random immigration attorney and she starts talking about how she thinks her Nigerian husband is scamming her, that he's part of this huge Nigerian scamming ring where they're trying to scam American women for green cards and money and Lord knows what else. So the immigration lawyer was a little bit caught off guard because she has no idea who this psychopath is. And she's just like, well, I really don't know the details or the history of your situation. So she's accusing Michael of running a scam. And the attorney tells her that once you've been married for 2 years and once your husband enters the United States, she's financially responsible for him. And there's really nothing that can get her out of it, not even a divorce. So she needs to be really careful moving forward. The attorney also tells Angela that he can sue her if she does not take care of him financially. If she kind of just abandons him, he has the right to sue her. And if he ever gets on public assistance, the government can come after her for the money that they gave to Michael for any type of public assistance. So Angela says that, and a divorce isn't going to end anything. The divorce is not a way out of being responsible for Michael. So she says that she wants to end it and she doesn't, I guess she's trying to figure out if she wants to go through with the whole process of him getting his visa or whatever. And the attorney tells her what she can do is, after she gives it a lot of thought, because the attorney kept on encouraging her to think it through, don't act irrationally, put a lot of thought into it before you act. But if you do decide that you do want to end it, it's better to do it before he enters the United States. You can contact the embassy and you can try to withdraw your petition. So Angela goes off to meet Michael and she thinks that she's going to get to the bottom of everything. So you know how Angela is. She's very quick to react. She doesn't sit and think things through. She doesn't really have like critical thinking skills, or she doesn't have the best analytical skills. Like, she sees a little bit of something and she just runs with it, right? So whatever she saw on the phone, which they really didn't show us to, like, we didn't really see exactly what was going on with the phone, but whatever she saw on the phone, she just kind of ran with, oh, he's scamming me. He's part of this whole scamming ring and he's the leader of this scamming ring, and he's putting all my information. So we really don't know what was going on. Now, I did hear Michael's voice say, not in this episode, but last week's episode, we did hear Michael's voice say something about how he was going to post her tax documents. Now, if he meant he was just going to send them to his attorney or someone official that's helping him with the immigration process, I don't know why he would use the word post. He didn't say just, oh, I'm about to send you her tax documents as part of the documents that immigration might require to process the visas. He said, yes, I'm about to post it. So I don't know what he meant by that. To me, that sounded kind of a little bit suspicious, but I'm not going to just jump to conclusions and be like, oh, he's sending her tax documents to everybody in his scamming ring to show them what a United States tax document looks like. I don't think that he was doing any of that. I'm not going to jump to conclusions, but Angela, she heard that and she ran with it. She thinks that he's posting her tax documents on some social media platform somewhere, or in this chat group that he's in. So she's like, Angela, take a deep breath, calm down, and really examine everything and use your analytical skills and your reasoning skills. But those are non-existent with her. So she goes to meet Michael because she thinks that she's going to get she thinks she's going to get to the bottom of everything. So she talks about how she saw on his phone a whole bunch of money that was wrapped up. So she was asking him, what's up with all this money wrapped up? And he was like, what are you talking about? He said it was a Wi-Fi. I think he said it was a Wi-Fi box. It wasn't money. And I don't know how you can mistake a Wi-Fi box with money wrapped up. I didn't understand any of that stuff. So Angela then brings up her tax documents, and he said that he was sending it to whoever was helping him with the immigration. I don't know if it was somebody at the embassy or an attorney or who this person was, but he said that he was sending her tax documents to help with the whole immigration stuff. He wasn't posting it in the chat group. He wasn't posting it on social media. He wasn't trying to compromise her privacy or anything like that. So she threatens to report him to the federal government because she's like, you're running a scamming ring, and I'm going to, everything on your phone, I'm going to send it to the federal government, and they're going to come and arrest you. And he's like, arrest me for what? I haven't done anything wrong. So Michael is like, there's nothing on my phone that's incriminating. There's nothing on my phone that shows that I'm part of any kind of scamming ring or that I'm scamming anybody. So then he lunges across the table and he grabs his phone, and then all hell breaks out. Production is running around. Someone's calling for hotel security. She wants the phone back. She's screaming, that's my phone. Give me my phone back. That's my phone. Get that phone from him. And it's just, your typical Angela shenanigans. Okay. So we all know about Michael coming to, after all of this, after her accusing him of running a scamming ring and exposing her personal information after all of this, he still comes to the United States. There are pictures of them canoodling at the airport here in America. He went to go live with her. Then something happened at her house that made him want to run away from her. And he just took off running. He hasn't looked back since, and they're still not together. Look, first of all, let me say this. It's like, I don't feel sorry for Michael, because I don't understand how he could even put up with this woman for 1 minute, let alone for 7 years. I believe that he is with her because he wants his papers. I think that when he first encountered Angela, I think he did it because he saw a woman that he thought was going to be vulnerable, that was going to be very gullible, that he was going to be able to manipulate her and persuade her to help him come to America. And he was going to use love and a relationship to do all of that. I don't think for a second that Michael was ever interested in Angela in any kind of romantic way. I don't believe that. Not at all. I think he just saw an easy target, which is wrong for him to do that. It's wrong for him to try to use somebody to try to come to America, because it ruins it for everybody else who legitimately has a real relationship. And, one partner really wants to come to the United States, because then immigration starts to look at everything a little bit more critically. So it makes it harder for everybody else who are not trying to scam, who are not trying to use one another. Saying all of that, I think that Angela is the bigger culprit, because she's the one that's extremely abusive. She's so abusive to this man. I don't understand, like, why. I just don't understand. Angela has a lot of issues. Okay. She has a ton of issues. So I don't understand how Michael could be with her, but she is the bigger culprit because she's extremely abusive to this man. She's verbally abusive to him. She's physically abusive to him. And he just takes it and takes it and takes it because, the end goal is to get to America. But now he doesn't have to take it no more because he ran away from her. But I think she's the bigger culprit. And I think that Angela is like the prime example of someone who can be with a partner who is a person of color, but then still be prejudiced or racist. Because I think that she sees Michael as her property. And I know people are going to get offended by that, but I think that she sees Michael as her property. I think that she thinks she owns him because she's the American. He wants something from her more than she wants something from him. So she thinks that she can use that as leverage above his head, because she's always threatening to divorce him and to prevent him from getting his visa. And, she's always threatening him with that. So she sees him as her property, and she thinks that she's better than him. She thinks that she's smarter than him. She thinks that he needs to bow down to her because, she's his great white hope into coming to the United States. I think she's extremely disrespectful. I think that she sees him probably as less than human. I think that she sees Michael as, like I said, her property. She sees him as someone who can do things for her, that she can boss him around, tell him what to do, control him, basically act like she owns this man. She acts like she owns this man. And it's disgusting to watch these people. And I don't understand for the life of me why TLC would bring this couple back. These people, it's beyond toxic. we're dealing with so many issues here. This relationship has every single red flag you can possibly think of. Every single red flag that you can possibly think of. And Michael is like, well, you know what? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna just sit here and I'm gonna take all of this abuse, and I'm just gonna let her do whatever because the end goal is for me to get to America and to get my papers, which is really sad. It is really, really, really sad that for you wasted 7 years of your life to come to a country that is, I mean, that's, I don't know. I don't know what your experience is going to be here in America, Michael. I hope it's going to be the best. Now, look, one more thing that I want to say about these people before I move on. So, Michael, this is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe he's going to get a regular 9 to 5, but I've heard so many people say that Michael is hoping to earn money through social media. He wants to be a social media influencer. I have seen Michael on TikTok. And obviously, because of an NDA or whatever contract he signed with TLC, he can't really talk about what's going on between him and Angela. So when he does his lives, people are asking him a whole bunch of questions about Angela. He doesn't really answer them because, obviously he can't. But if whatever we're seeing now, this non 90-day content that he's putting out there, the content that he's putting out there that's got nothing to do with the Angels, got nothing to do with 90. If this is what it's going to be for him, then Michael, you might need to consider getting a 9 to 5. Michael is a really nice person. Okay. He's a very nice person. He's got like this, this sweetness about him, like this sweet soul or whatever. But it's not that entertaining. Okay. He's not that entertaining on social media. So if he wants to be this big time influencer and have all of these brand deals, I don't know if that's going to work out for him or not. But to me, like you need 90 Day Fiance content if you want to get your platform popping. Whenever the NDA is over, once you can start talking about Angela and you can start talking about the show, I can definitely see your numbers rising. But if it's about you doing your little dances and trying to spread positivity, that's all good and well, but that doesn't transfer to social media big bucks. So I don't know what you're going to do, Michael, as far as sustaining a living in the United States. Let's move on to another dysfunctional couple, Jasmine and Gino. So they're at the park. Jasmine is doing some yoga. I don't know where the hell Gino was or what he was doing, but he walks up to her and he tells her that he wants them to have a conversation. He wants to talk to her. And Jasmine says to Gino, well, I don't have a problem talking to you, but you're going to have to keep it, we're going to have an adult conversation, which is funny that she says that because she's always the first one to start crying, to start screaming and yelling and cussing them out. So they go to a restaurant to talk. They talk about the fight that they had at the appliance store. Gino tells her that he was really hurt when she attacked his masculinity by saying that he is not a provider. She doesn't see him as a real man because he's not a provider. And so she says, well, I'm sorry. She does her little, I'm sorry if you were hurt, her little, I'm sorry if apology. And she says that she didn't mean to attack his masculinity. And I'm like, Jasmine, that's exactly what you were aiming for. You wanted to attack his masculinity. You wanted him to feel less than as a man. That's exactly what you were aiming for when you said that he wasn't a provider and all this other stuff. Okay. So, she tells him that she wants him to take the initiative when it comes to intimacy. Y'all, this whole thing with intimacy between Gino and Jasmine, it really baffles me because I'm thinking that Gino, for him to not initiate or to not be interested in her, sexually, it has to be because he's got erectile dysfunction. I don't know what else it could possibly be that's preventing him. He says that, well, you say a lot of hurtful things and that's what makes me not want to be intimate with you. I mean, look, there's plenty of men that if the woman is, if their wife or their partner is willing, they don't give a damn what she said 5 minutes ago about him. Now it's time to make up. Okay. Yeah, we were screaming at each other and you were cussing me out, but now it's time to make up, especially, if the woman is like, hey, well, you know what I'm trying to say. So to me, that's a cop out. I think this man must have some type of erectile because I don't understand all these years that we've seen Gino and Jasmine. They've been talking about this intimacy issue. So I don't know if it's just for the show, just for a plot line, or if he really does have these issues. But it just baffles me that you have a woman who a lot of men would consider extremely attractive, and she's wanting and she's willing and she's begging for it, and you can't do anything with her. And she claims that it's because you're busy looking at porn. that's how you get your rocks off instead of like you have a real life, woman there. I just don't understand. To me, this is very confusing, and I don't get it at all. He must have some type of medical condition. So she says that she wants him to initiate intimacy more, and he's like, I'll work on it, but it's going to take time. Then they joke about her boobs because he says, my favorite thing about you, I'm attracted to you physically, and the best part of your body are your boobs. And then she says that he's the most beautiful man on earth. Now, okay, let's just move on. So they go to later on. We see them. They go to a dress shop to find her like a formal evening gown for her pageant. Now let's talk. Now let me see, y'all. I don't think that Gino is an ugly man. I think Gino is. He's a decent looking guy. I think he actually looks better without his hat. He's a decent looking guy. He's not ugly by any means. He's a decent looking guy. But y'all, when they were at the dress shop, and he was telling her because she was saying something about she wanted him to be her manager and the whole pageantry thing, or he volunteered to be her manager. And he says, I know something about pageants because he had tried out for Mr. Michigan back in the day when he was a whole lot young. Y'all, when they showed a picture of Gino in his younger days, hmm yeah. He was very decent looking back then. He was very decent looking back in the day. That was a really nice picture of Gino. Let's move on to Patrick and Tice. I don't think I have anything more to say, but Gino and Jasmine. My conclusion, it's just like I said, they have a pattern. They will fight like cats and dogs. They'll cuss each other out. They'll tear each other down, and then they make up, and everything is wonderful. Moving on to Patrick and Thais. So, we are still at the dinner with the whole entire family, and Thais's father, Carlos, is questioning Patrick's father, Jose. Why is he making his son do all this manual labor on his properties? And why is he charging them for rent for the apartment? And Patrick thinks that this is none of Carlos's business. He thinks this is between him and his dad. Carlos brings up how Patrick never came to him as a man to ask for his blessing in marrying Thais. And John made a very good point. John says Patrick never had a chance to ask for the blessing because the whole entire time that Thais was in America, Thais was lying to her father about what she was doing in America. She lied about her whole entire relationship with Patrick. So he never had the chance to ask for the blessing because Patrick was doing what Thais wanted him to do, which was to keep their whole relationship a secret. So he never had that opportunity. So do we keep harping on? I hate the fact that Thais ruined ruined Patrick's reputation with her dad, but then for some reason she wants Patrick to fix it. When she should be woman enough, adult enough to come to her father and say, Dad, I lied about my relationship with Patrick the whole time that I was in America. I didn't tell you what was really going on, that we were engaged and we were going to be getting married. And I'm sorry for that. And that's the reason why he never asked you for the blessing. It was all because of me. Just be a woman about it, be an adult about it, and just take accountability for what you did, Thais, instead of blaming him for not asking and groveling and begging your father for his blessing. You had a lot to do with why Patrick didn't ask for that blessing. So the next day, Patrick and Thais are together and they're talking about the dinner. Thais says that Patrick's dad, is wrong, was really, really wrong. Thais tells Patrick that he needs to give up the apartment and that the father was wrong for charging them for rent, and Thais thinks that they're just throwing money away because they don't really use that apartment that often, and so she wants Patrick to give up the apartment, and Patrick is like, no, I'm not going to give it up. He wants to keep it. Patrick is like, he's still that wounded little boy who was still very hurt about his father abandoning him and thinking that he can do, like, he probably, I don't know if he felt when he was a child and the father left, I don't know if Patrick felt like it was his fault that his father left, or he was somehow responsible for his father leaving. You know how children will blame themselves, of course unnecessarily, but they will still blame themselves if their parents get a divorce or if their parents are no longer together. I wonder if Patrick is still in that mindset, and so he does all these things for his dad and allows his dad to mistreat him because he's like, he's still that little boy who's trying to make things right again with his dad. He's trying to prove to his dad that, I'm the good son. I'm that good son. If you thought that I was bad, I'm not bad. I'm that good son. He's got a lot of issues with his dad, and I feel like he needs to talk to a therapist to try to get resolved, because all the stuff that he's doing, that Thais and John are pointing out to him, like how his father is taking advantage of him, and he doesn't see it that way because he just wants to make his dad happy. He's still that wounded child that's trying to impress his father, in order for his father to not leave him. So he says he's not going to give up the apartment. He'll do anything to keep his father in his life. So after that, they meet up with Thais's friends. So John and Patrick and Thais meet up with a couple of Thais's friends at some bar. And the friends don't like Patrick at all because they think that Patrick, kidnapped Thais, took her to America, and hurried up and, married her really fast, and everything moved really fast. They don't like Patrick at all. So Thais, I think, also is responsible for the image, or for the impression that her friends have over Patrick or about Patrick. I think she's responsible for that as well. I think that she probably told them a lot of negative things about Patrick, and that stuck with them. Because what do they bring up? They decide to bring up how when he first met Thais, he was still talking to another girl, or he began talking to another girl when his relationship with Thais first started, and they weren't really official yet, and he ended up kissing this other. They bring stuff up from all this ancient history, and I'm like, for what? Why are y'all bringing this up? Why are y'all grilling Patrick about why did you kiss that other girl? Who the hell cares? He married Thais. They are married. They're living together. They have a child together. Why are y'all bringing up some random chick that he kissed, back in the day? Why are y'all doing that? So then they talk about John. So her friends ask her, "Oh, is that the brother that was treating you bad, or was being really mean to you or something?" And Thais is like, "Yeah, that's the brother. He's the one that brought all these girls over to Patrick's house when I was in America, only like on my second day in America. He brings all these women to Patrick's house." So I'm like, Thais, why are you saying that to your friends? Why are you trying to paint this really horrible picture about Patrick and his brother to your friends? And so then the friends get all hyped up, and they start arguing. They say that, John is a bad influence on Patrick, that he's influencing him to be unfaithful to Thais. And John is like, hold up, we don't cheat in our family. That's not what we do. I'm not influencing my brother to do anything. He's a grown man. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do. I cannot influence another adult to do anything. So him and the friend are going back and forth. The friend called John some choice words. John called the friend a slut. Then the friend threw her drink on him. Once again, I blame Thais. I blame Thais. You know your friends. You know John, and you know Patrick. What is your end goal, Thais? Is your end goal for everybody to hate your husband and his brother? Is that what you're striving for? Because that's what it looks like, girl. I would think that you would want people to get along, that you would want to paint a positive picture of these people that you're living with in the United States. Like, why are you bringing up ancient history? I don't understand why she's doing that. I didn't like that at all. I did not like that at all. I don't know why Thais is all about ruining her husband and his brother's reputation and causing all of this strife. Moving on to Lauren and Alexi. So Lauren is still recovering. Alexi feels completely overwhelmed because he has to keep down a job. He has to take care of the kids. He's worried about what's going on in Israel. So he's feeling very much overwhelmed. Later on, we see Lauren in the bedroom. She's doing laundry. She said that the doctor told her that she's still doing too much. She's like, my doctor told me that I need to completely just stop doing everything. So Alexi comes into the bedroom, and she's, folding up the clothes and doing the laundry. And she tells Alexi, and she's sitting in the bed, right? She tells Alexi, "Oh, I talked to my doctor, and he says I'm doing too much. He wants me to stop doing everything. I can't even do laundry anymore." And Alexi looked at her, and he was like, "Girl, you can do some laundry. You can fold some damn socks." And she says, "Well, it's just the repetitiveness of it. It's hindering my recovery. There's the repetitive actions, the repetitive movements. It's hindering my recovery." And then she says, "I did this for you. I did this surgery for you." Okay, so girl, we were trying to give you the benefit of the doubt that you went through this unnecessary cosmetic surgery for yourself because you talked about how you can't be a good mom and you can't be a good Lauren. You can't be happy in life until you get this done because you wanted to feel more confident with yourself. You needed that confidence boost. So you thought you were going to go get plastic surgery and you're going to be a better version of yourself, which will lead you to becoming a better mom and a better person and a better wife and a better Lauren. Now you're saying that you did this surgery for him? Girl, what? That sounds stupid. So he was like, you didn't do this for me because I told you to go to the gym. You thought you were going to get this surgery and wake up looking like Barbie. You see, I think with Lauren, what her issue is, she wants to be an influencer because I've seen her Instagram and her, I've seen her Instagram and her TikTok. She wants to be, it seems like she really wants to be an influencer, right? And I think that she thinks she's in competition with these other girls who are on the gram, who are on TikTok. She feels like she's in competition with them. And these girls are like 10 years younger than her with no babies. And I think that she's trying to keep up with all of these young girls who are definitely getting plastic surgery to look the way they look, obviously, but they also have youth on their side. They can bounce back a lot quicker. So he was like, I told you to go to the gym. And y'all, I don't see a difference in Lauren. I don't see a difference in her at all. To me, she looks the same as she did before the surgery. So you're going through all of this, putting your life at risk, spending all this money just to look exactly the same. I don't see a difference in her. I really don't. Maybe because of the angles that they're showing her on television. I don't know, but I really don't see a difference in her at all. And I think this was all very much unnecessary. And then she said something to Alexi like, oh, it seems like you really resent me or you're resent. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he resents it a lot because he thinks it was completely unnecessary and causing like a big disruption in everybody's life. Moving on to Ed and Liz. So Liz is back at the place that she was living with Ed to get the rest of her stuff or whatever to pack up some stuff. So right before she's handing him the garage door opener and she's also handing him the key and she's about to bounce. But Ed decided to let her know that he was sorry for how he talked to her mother. And then Liz says, well, you don't know how to talk to a woman. And Ed was like, well, you don't know how to talk to a man. And then he also said, your mom wasn't being a woman. And after he said that, he would have been choking on that garage door opener if he would have said something like that to me. Like, you're going to say that to my mom about my mom? He said, your mom wasn't being a woman when I told her that. Anywho, so they start arguing and he starts talking about, Liz, I feel really sorry for you. I feel sorry for your next relationship, because saying all kinds. Basically, he was trying to push her buttons because he's so good at that. If Ed can't do nothing else, he's good at pushing buttons and triggering people. He especially is good at triggering Liz. Liz, you should have just handed him the garage door opener and the key and left and not even give him a chance to say anything about anything. You should have just handed him the key and the garage door opener and left. But no, you decided to stay and you decided to listen to him and you decided to allow yourself to get triggered by him, because then she starts screaming at him and he's trying, he's cool, calm, and collected because he does this in his sleep, pushing people's buttons, pissing people off, insulting people, making people cry. He can do this in his sleep. This is his profession. And, she starts crying and screaming and yelling, I hate you, F you, so she's triggered now. And I'm like, Liz, how do you allow this person? I begin to wonder, Liz, are you mad that Ed broke up with you? Or are you mad that someone like Ed broke up with you? Is it like you felt like, well, a guy like Ed is going to, he's never going to break my heart because it's hard for him. I don't know if she thinks it's hard for him to get women or he's desperate for relationships. And she felt like she had like a surefire situation with him. Like, a guy like him isn't going to break up with a girl like me. But he ended up dumping you on television because he embarrassed you before and you stayed. I keep saying this. If someone embarrasses the hell out of you, it's time to go. The longer you stay with them, they're going to embarrass you even more. Even more. It's going to be worse the next time around. So he kept on embarrassing her, throughout the relationship. She proposes to him. He says yes for whatever reason. And then he embarrassed the hell out of her by dumping her and canceling the wedding. And now she's the one on every single episode, slinging snot, crying, hyperventilating, can't catch her breath because she's crying so hard. over Ed. And I don't get it. And I don't feel sorry for Liz because how dare you allow someone like Ed do this to you? And when I say someone like Ed, I'm talking about his personality. The fact that he's so mean spirited. He's so mean spirited. And you knew this, girl. You've always known this about Ed. Have you watched him on TV at all? Have you watched him on TV at all? He's a very mean spirited type of guy. But oh well. So she's up there crying, yelling, cussing because he did exactly what he wanted to do. He mission accomplished. He got her triggered. Moving on to Emily and Kobe. So y'all, I am so glad that Kobe's ex never showed up to the meeting because to me that whole entire thing was just so stupid. It was so stupid. And I think that it would not have gone well for Emily at all. I don't think it would have gone well at all for Emily if the ex would have shown up. But anyway, she says, well, while the girl didn't show up, she still got all of her questions answered by Kobe. So what was the point of seeing the ex? If he was going to answer your questions to your satisfaction, what was the point of trying to, meet up with the ex? Because you were going to believe Kobe anyway, his version of what happened. So the wedding is going to be in about a day. Kobe brings all the things that Emily's father had requested on the list, the bride's list, or whatever it was, the pineapple, the umbrella, etc., including the goat. So then it comes time for them to talk about the bride's price, and Kobe tells Emily, you can't be around while we're negotiating the bride's price. So Emily goes back into the house, and now it's just Kobe, his father, another relative, and Emily's parents. So they're talking about the bride's price, and Kobe says, we don't use real money. When we're negotiating, we use leaves, and the leaves represent money. So they go. So Emily's mom is extremely uncomfortable. Oh my God, I don't. The idea of selling my daughter, girl, please. So she's very uncomfortable about this whole thing. And the dad is like, hey, when you're in Cameroon, you do as the Cameroonian people do. So I don't know what you want me to do. So they finally come to a price of 700 francs, which equals not 700 like 700 francs Cameroonian money, which equals about $1.50. So she's worth about $1.50. So Emily comes out and she stands next to Kobe and his family because now she belongs to them. And the mom starts crying because she feels like, when she saw Emily standing with Kobe and his family, she felt like, they own her now. She's lost her daughter. Girl, you haven't lost. She's going to be right there on that damn plane with you when y'all go back to the United States. She's going to be all up in your house, eating up all of your food, using up all of your electricity and water, and not working, and having a whole bunch of babies that you and your husband are going to end up supporting. So she does not belong to anybody but you. Okay. Emily and all of her problems are still there. Okay. She's still with you. And so I'm not understanding what's up with the mom and why she's so emotional like this and acting like, she will never see her daughter again and that, Kobe's family is going to keep her forever and ever. No, she's going to be right there in the plane with you when y'all go back. Moving on to Sophie and Rob. Y'all, I'm so sick and tired of Sophie and Rob. I am so sick and tired. I am over Sophie and Rob. Okay, so her and her mom are out for breakfast. And while they're out eating, Rob is texting her, calling her, whatever the hell, he begging her to come back, and her mom is like, Sophie, you need to just end it, because I've already talked about my theory on Sophie's mom, Claire. I think Claire is very jealous of her daughter. She's either jealous because she wants Rob for herself, or she's jealous because she wants what Sophie has with Rob, which was a marriage. Or maybe she wants Sophie to herself so that Sophie can give all her money to her so she can still support her habit. Sophie and her mom show up at the apartment. Rob had gotten Sophie a stuffed animal that she really wanted, so he gives her the stuffed animal. Sophie was really happy about it. Rob apologized about how he was talking to Claire the night before. Claire apologized as well. Sophie then says, I feel really bad now because, you gave me, you bought me this stuffed animal and you've apologized to my mother. And I just feel so bad now because I just came here to tell you that I'm just here to get my stuff so I can go stay with my friend because I think we need our space. Girl, you've been wanting your space since the day you got married. You're not dropping any bombs, okay? You've been wanting your space since the day that you got married to Robin, probably before then. So y'all have been apart more than y'all have been together. This is nothing new. And so and Rob is like, I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what you want me to do, because anything he says that's um now if that's not aligned with what they're saying, they're going to attack him. So he's like, I'm going to just keep my mouth shut. So I'm just like, Rob, go ahead and file them papers. Let this girl go about her business. Rob is really upset with Claire because he thinks that Claire is influencing Sophie to leave her marriage, which I do believe that. I really do believe that, which I think is absolutely wrong. I don't know, unless Sophie just, maybe Sophie's just done with Rob and his online cheating. I don't know, y'all, and I really don't care. I don't want to talk about these people too much because I really don't care about Sophie and Rob. They can stay together, they can be apart, they can divorce each other. He can continue with his online cheating, he can stop the online cheating. I don't care about Sophie and Rob. I really don't care. I think this whole entire relationship was a sham. I think that they're on this show for ulterior motives. I think they both were just trying to increase their social media following, and that's the real reason why they're on this show. I don't believe anything about Sophie and Rob whatsoever. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.